Okay, today we're going to explain a way to solve math problems using QAR, which you're going to use your questions and your answers, and that is how you're going to solve your math problem. So, when you begin looking at math, you ask yourself a few questions, right? First, you review graphics. So if you're provided a graph, you look at the graph, you look at the information that's available. Reread the question. Choose appropriate question and an answer. So you ask yourself, is the information I need right there? Or do I have to think and search for the information? Or possibly, do you have some of the information already and then use what the author's given you? Or are you completely on your own? So again, you're given a math problem, you read the question, review the graphics, reread the question, then decide how you're going to find the answer, and then you're going to answer the question. Simple, right? So we're going to practice with that. I'm going to give you this graph, and I want you to look at it while I hand out. You're going to need a pencil. We'll work together a little bit.
Can I borrow a pencil?
Amen. There's one behind you in that pink. All right. So today we're going to work with a word problem relating to bean prices. And if you look on your graph in front of you, or up here, you'll see that yesterday's bean price was, what would you say using this graph? What do you think it was?
$15.
$15.21.
15.
All right, we're going to, okay. Why is it?
$15.21.
Okay. It was right about $15. Actually, the price was $14.94. Trenton, I'll give you a piece of paper. And actually, I need my YouTube for a class. All right, so on your paper, it gives you the 4 questions you ask yourself. Right there, think and search, author and you, and on your own. So as you answer the following questions, I want you not only to answer the question, but then indicate behind it with an A, B, C, or D which question you asked yourself to find it. Okay? So we'll go ahead and do the first one together. Let's read the problem. The price of beans on October 23 was $14.94 a bushel. So you're very close. We said 15, right?
Is that what it closed at?
I don't know. That was what it was at first hour. This past summer's drought caused an increase in the market for a time. And so, if you look at the chart, what's
18.
Yeah, it's about $18, okay? So that's the information you have. Now we're going to use this chart and the information that you found within this word problem to answer the following questions. So if you sold 327 bushels of beans yesterday, or actually on October 23, what would the amount of the check be?
Yeah, take 327 times 14 and go.
Correct. So go ahead. Get that answer.
48.85.
$4,885.
$48.85.
I can't do that.
15 times.
$15 times 327.
Oh, I did $3.27.
It's 4,905.
Yeah. Hey, I was close.
4,905. Yep. Okay. So to get that answer, what question could you answer? Did you get? A, B, C. Okay, A. It was right there, correct? Could it have been? Yeah, think and search, because you did have to know what formula to use, right? Cam knew it immediately. He knew we had to multiply the number of bushels times the price. Okay, what was the cost of beans this past summer?
18.
Okay, what A, B, C, or D is there? Or A, it's right there. Simply, it's found there. Number 3, what is today's bean price?
14
And how do you know that?
on the chart.
It's not there, actually.
Well, you look at the price on October 23rd up in the
Okay, but today is October 25. And if you notice, I left this blank. So this is going to be a D on your own. How are you going to find what today's bean price
Internet.
is?
Call the elevator.
Okay, do it. Somebody do it.
I got the elevator.
You got farmers elevators?
Okay, so you can see you guys are using the information you have. So it's on your own. So let's find out. Cam is our roving reporter.
Cam, do not be dumb.
I've done this.
You ready to write it down because you're going to graph this information.
Whomever, yeah, I was wondering what you're paying on beans today. Okay, thank you. 15.26.
Okay, 1526. All right, let's graph that. Everybody graph your own. Can you really? Okay, so we answered that using D on your own. Number 4, what day would you make more money? Today or October 23?
Today.
Okay, good. How'd you answer that?
Looked at the graph.
Yep. But you also had to do some math, right?
Yeah.
So on your own, good. Okay, what is the future price of beans predicted to be for October 31, 2012?
Better get the computer out and get on the DTM.
Okay, count it, Brady.
On the elevator.
Yeah, Cam, I got that.
You still pay for your DTM game?
No,
You don't?
don't have it anymore.
They went up, it's like top of the secret.
Yeah, it's.
Threw them away.
You're the one right
Yeah,
there.
we used to have two of them.
Actually, I think we moved it back.
D&D sounds good.
So are you Googling it or do you actually know where to go? You guys know where to go? Paige, would you know right where to go?
No, I have to Google it.
Okay, I had to Google it as
Oh my
well,
goodness.
so.
Cam,
Let's go to farmerselevator.com.
You can go to Tractor House, and they have it on one side there too.
So there's a lot of resources that you can go to gather information. October 31.
Go to your futures on farmerselevator.com.
Farmers, sorry, internet's kind of slow.
Okay, maybe this one will-
It brings out a good point. Sometimes it actually takes time to gather the information you need to solve the problem. So don't get frustrated when you actually have to do research and look, because when you put the time in, you get the correct answers, it saves time in the end.
Get to it, Cam, because I'm having troubles. Oh, kind of embarrassment, I know.
You're fine. Okay, as they're searching to tell me if I'm correct, what I found on the internet was that the predicted bean price for October 31, 2012 is going to be $14.95. So graph that, please. Oh.
$15.27.
Ooh, mine was low. Okay. Actually, would it change in 2 days? See, these are things
It'll
that I
change,
would.
it'll fluctuate
so it
between
fluctuates.
rain and everything.
So you're saying today the projected is what?
15.27. And it's down actually $5, or 5 cents.
Okay. So there's a really good example why it is important to double check your data. Because if I'm gonna sell it for $14.95 and Cam's gonna sell it for $15.27, obviously he's gonna make more money. right? So you wanna double check your information. Okay, so the last